Hello, beautiful lady. I am coming to you in a video form because we've already spoken over the phone, and I just wanted to give you some recaps of how you can delve into your toolbox as a member of the Elite 25 and the From Panic to Empowerment membership of your healing place, where we constantly do everything possible to move you from panic to empowerment. So there's not going to be a whole bunch of bells and whistles in this video because I just wanted to speak to you mano a mano. So therefore you can just get a recap of what our conversations is about. The first thing I wanted to bring to your attention is, with everything that you're dealing with, please consider to use your tips, tricks, and tools. You understand exactly what that is, but I'll recap it for you here before we go to the next statement. So your tips is your grounding point. The grounding point says health is predicated on 4 very specific things: how you sleep, what your energy is like, your bowel function, and your moods. Now, to clarify those 4 points, sleep is the most important part of your health. When you sleep, your body restores, rejuvenates, and repairs. When you don't have enough sleep, your body can't do that. And guess what? Sleep is a major component of immunity. When you're not sleeping well, you're not going to have great energy when you wake up. And so sleep is predicated on the fact that you can go to sleep without problem. You can stay asleep and wake up and like, hello world. Now, if you wake up in the middle of the night and you feel like you have to go to the restroom, that's fine. But if you can go back to sleep right after that, then your sleep is still on point and you're going to wake up rejuvenated, ready to start your day. Your energy is good energy, not the energy is like, I got to wash the clothes, I got to clean the car, I got to all that stuff that we must do. That's energy based on adrenaline. Adrenaline comes from your adrenal gland that sits over top of your kidneys. And when you're operating on adrenaline, eventually you'll start to feel fatigued. And the fatigue will feel like you have all this energy during the day, but as soon as you sit down, you realize, oh man, I'm exhausted. That's energy. So good energy is calm energy. The energy that has you just kind of floating along your day. And even if you settle down in the evening, you have enough resolve to maybe watch your favorite show, read a book, journal. That's good energy. And finally, bowel function. Bowel function is one of the most critical aspects of health because it removes waste out of the body and toxins and parasites and viruses and molds and yeast and everything that we don't need. It actually comes out of your bowels. So when you're looking at a bowel movement, you're looking at a bowel movement that has consistent color, should be the shape of a sausage with not having little pebbles in it, and it should sink. If a bowel movement floats, that indicates that you're not digesting fats properly. And if you're not digesting fats properly, then you probably should add a little bit more sea salt to your diet so you can produce hydrochloric acid. Production of hydrochloric acid breaks things down to its smallest components, and it helps the gallbladder that sits underneath your liver work better to produce bile to emulsify the fats that goes into the liver. And emulsifying is like using dishwashing liquid to, clear the grease out of the water so you can wash your dishes clearly. You'll notice that if you've ever had a foot bath, gallbladder is indicated at the top of the foot bath water. It'll be the greenish kind of bubbles sitting over top of the brown that everybody goes, ugh. But that's how the gallbladder functions, to emulsify fats, to absorb the fats that you need for your body. You need it for your brain, your cells, your skin. You also need it for the lipid layer of your cell as well as the myelin sheath of your nerve. And so when you are getting in good fats, those other aspects of your body work well. But if you're not absorbing fats, because your stool will float. So hopefully that was helpful. Then we're moving on now to the tricks. The tricks is your control point. I know you want to control everything else, but the only thing you really can control is you. And so when you talk about the tricks, we're talking about what you eat, what you drink, what you inhale, and what you rub on your skin. Now, what you eat should be about removing the 12 bad foods out of your diet. You know exactly what they are. That's wheat, rye, barley, oats, carbonated beverage, oils in a bottle. It's also going to be soy and corn. I probably missed something, but you know what the 12 bad foods are, and I'll put the video link with Dr. Glidden underneath in the description so you'll be able to see it again. Now, what you eat is important because if you have enough hydrochloric acid in your system, you're going to be able to break down those wonderful foods that you've eaten and assimilate them into your body. What you use, your body will make it easier for you to have good sleep, energy, bowels, and mood. And what you don't use, your body will get rid of it through your waste, whether it's urine, sweat, or bowel feces. And that is how you're going to stay healthy in this new world that we live in. Now, what you drink is very significant too. Yesterday, my daughter had this wonderful idea and she made this large picture of ginger juice. If you're into herbs, ginger is considered an herb and a spice. And so you can take ginger root, juice it, and create this wonderful juice. It has so many medicinal properties, including digestion, is good for pain relief. It has so many other properties. So while we're on this hiatus of trying to figure out what the world is going to be, start looking up the medicinal properties of everything that you eat, your food. So now you're going to make sure that everything you buy to consume when you make that mad dash to the store is going to be something that your body can use. Because remember, it's the control point that governs the grounding point, which is sleep, energy, bowels, and mood. So drinking quality things is going to be very helpful for the rest of your life, but critically also for now. Now, inhaling has never been as important as it is right now. It's always been important, but it hasn't been on our radar. So eat, drink, inhale. We're on the third point of the tricks. Inhaling is significant. Inhaling things can cause disease or cause dysfunction in the respiratory tract, definitely and succinctly. So be careful of the things that you inhale. Don't be around someone who is sneezing or actively coughing, because those particles in the air, sometimes it could be up to 30,000 particles from one sneeze or cough. If you're downwind of somebody's cough, then you're going to inhale what they just exhaled, which is not good right now because it can cause serious respiratory problems, especially if your immune system can't handle it. Inhaling could also be cleaning products and chemicals that are too strong. I did a bioscan on myself, and one of the things that showed up as very high and chronic for me was cleaning products. And cleaning products has a way of affecting the lungs. And I noticed that my breath was starting to feel shallow. Didn't have a cough, just a shallow breathing when I took a deep breath. It didn't feel very expansive. And when I scanned it, I'm like, that's why. These new cleaning products, I've been using Pine Sol quite often to disinfect the surfaces, and my body's saying, I don't like that. So if you're starting to feel any respiratory feelings, don't freak out and think it's COVID-19 automatically, but check and see if you vacuumed, because you might be getting dust particles. Check and see if the cleaning products that you're using are creating a problem. Check and see if it's even your fabric softener. I got into this fabric softener kick for about a month, and my body's going, what are you doing? You must be crazy. You know better. And the reason why I did it is because I like that really fresh smell for our towels. An alternative thing to do for fresh smelling clothes is to get a clean and free detergent and then load it up with your favorite essential oils. That's a great way to get good smells. It's also a great way to get some aromatherapy in your life without even trying. Imagine sleeping on an aromatherapy filled pillowcase that you washed in essential oils of lavender or lemongrass or something wonderful like that. Your body will thank you, your mood will be uplifted, and also that has really good qualities for your health in terms of immunity and inflammation and all kinds of great stuff. The last thing that goes on that list of tricks would be rubbing on your skin. Yes, rubbing on your skin. When I say rubbing on your skin, I'm not necessarily meaning what the lotion that you use or the personal hygiene products, but also the detergents that are in your clothes or sometimes the dye in your clothes. I remember back in the day when you get a pair of jeans, you weren't supposed to wash your jeans until you wash your jeans. You weren't supposed to wear them unless you washed them first. Because a lot of people started noticing that if they put on fresh jeans straight from the store and they sweat, their skin would be blue. The dye really hadn't settled in the jean, and you had to actually wash it at least once to settle the color, and then your jeans were safe to wear. So right now I am dating myself, but that's actually what used to happen. The dye in jeans would show up because they'd be on your legs, and you'd be blue from the waist down. So rubbing things on your skin can be passive absorption, like I just described as the jeans, or it can be active absorption where you're literally putting something on your skin. So at these days and times, I recommend that you only use pure things. Start using shea butters. You can actually use ghee on your skin. So you can make ghee by boiling butter until the milk solids dissolve, pour it in a jar and save it. It lasts forever. You can not only use it for cooking, but you can use it for your hair, and you could also use it for your skin. So err on the side of using the most natural aspects of things for your health. Okay, we got it. So we started with the tips. The tips is your grounding point. The grounding point says, my health is predicated on my sleep, energy, bowels, and mood. And I can affect my sleep, energy, bowels, and mood by the tips. And the tip says, what I eat, drink, inhale, and rub on my skin will have an effect on my grounding point. Moving from the control point, which is what you eat, drink, inhale, rub on your skin, we're moving on to tools. The tool says, I need a transformation in my life, and I'm only going to get it if I reflect, reflame, and renew. So you're going to reflect, reframe, renew on everything. We've had this conversation, everything. And you're going to do that because everything has a spiritual component. Even if you have a cough or a sore throat, which a lot of people have been calling in with coughs, a cough indicates that there is something you want to communicate and you're barking at the world. Like, hear me, I have something to say. But on a physical plane, because you have not communicated your truth for whatever reason, you are vibrating at the same level of something that would have an effect on your throat, whether a bacteria or a virus, which is going to cause you to cough, and your lungs are going to try to expel what's in there to get it out. Lungs is also grief. You're going to feel grief if you can't express yourself. Your lungs are going to start feeling congested because that's where the grief is being held. And it's going to try to get it out, and it's going to try to get it out forcefully. So be mindful of that. That's one way that we can make sure that we stay healthy, by monitoring what our bodies are trying to communicate. So when you have a physiological manifestation, you ask yourself, what is the emotion? When do I remember having this similar emotion from birth to 7? What is the story surrounding this emotion? And how do I look at the story differently from a position of strength as a woman and not a 7-year-old little girl? Ha! That is a very key point, because the 7-year-old little girl in you can be running your life if you're not aware of the reality of the possibility of it at all. So you always go back to writing or thinking about something that you remember associated with what you're dealing with right now. So right now my shoulders are hurting. My spine is hurting. And your spine represents your foundation. How can I say it? Your spine represents your stability. And your shoulders represent what you can hold. Right now, I probably do feel like the weight of the world is on my shoulders because, number one, I probably imposed that idea on myself, but I've been responsible for a lot of things since I was very young, and so maybe I'm just kind of tired. And now that I am an adult, I do have things that I am responsible for and I should be responsible for, and my shoulders maybe just feeling the brunt of it. And the pressure of it is creating compression on my spine. How do I reframe that? I reframe that by understanding that I am not responsible for everything or everybody. And if I delegate responsibility, resources, and opportunities for other people to grow, then that lifts the pressure off of me. That's a way to reframe very quickly my own sense of understanding of what I'm feeling right now. You can do that too. I've done it with you 1,000 times over the phone. Well, not 1,000, but you know, I've done it with you over the phone, and I know that you can do it for yourself. And if you can't figure out what the emotion is, then absolutely you must journal to find your story. The last concept that I want to bring to your attention is the concept of big-minded stories and small-minded stories. You've heard this. In order for you to transition from your old paradigm and reframe to a new paradigm, you have to recognize when you are telling a small-minded story. So, a phenomenon. Let's talk about there's 3 components in this idea. Number 1, there's a phenomenon. A phenomenon just says, Dr. Stephanie is standing up. Well, you don't even know if I'm standing up. You can only see me from my chest up. Dr. Stephanie is speaking in this video. She's waving her hands. She's talking. And that's all you can assume. You can't add anything else to it. You might say, in a small-minded story, I hear some noise in the background. And the noise seems to distort her voice. Why didn't she turn that noise off? That potentially could be a small-minded story, because actually it isn't noise. It is the tranquil sound of water. Water from the fish tank that's in front of me, but water has a tendency to cleanse the environment. So if you heard the water from a large-minded story, you would understand that water is cleansing, and it's not noise, it's a vibration that keeps the flow of energy in a room. So the small-minded story was, what is that noise in the background? The large-minded story is, hey, that's water. Water is cleansing. What a wonderful way to do a video, to have the constant flow of energy, of water moving positive energy throughout the conversation. That's how you consider whether you're thinking small-minded or large-minded. Now, if you think about how often you're doing this large and small-minded thing, you'll recognize that either you're creating your own suffering or you're creating your own moments of empowerment. And that's what this whole program is about. Moving you from panic to empowerment, and these little nuggets of wisdom in any way that I can get them to you. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to start doing more of them. I know there's some things that I need to bring to you to keep you current with all the alternative options for keeping you well, now that we're in this new reality of doing things virtually. So have a fantastic day. I look forward to connecting with you soon. And of course, be well, but don't panic. Take care.